Hi everyone, it's Lisa from Flipping Life with Lisa. And before we go any further, make sure you like and subscribe and don't forget to
Ring the bell.
so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And I promise I will be posting more. But the reason we're doing this video today is because over the last 6 months, a lot has gone on in my cancer journey. And I have invited my husband, Joshua,
Hi, everyone.
who is the brains behind this whole journey, to come on here and help me recap what has gone on. Because he does not have chemo brain.
Yeah, lucky.
So, this is Joshua, my husband, and he's going to tell you a little bit about what's gone on. Take it away.
All right. So, you all know Lisa, and over the last few years, she's had like one job here, and that's to get better. My job has been everything else. So I try to keep track of the appointments, put out the medicines, set the alarms for the medicines,
Order the medicines.
drive her to her appointments, and really just try to remember and organize everything.
And talk to the doctors.
And talk to the doctor. So I guess I'm her administrative assistant.
He does everything.
And I like that. It really, has been hard for Lisa to remember all of the details about what she's supposed to do. When I first found out that she had cancer, somebody told me that when he supported his significant other, that was the role he played, and that for his significant other, it was all about just making sure she had the space to focus on surviving. And so I decided that's, what I was going to do.
And that's what I do. I tried.
So 6 months ago, not even January, it's June, 5 months ago, Lisa started radiation. And I think she mentioned that maybe in one of her previous cancer updates, but we went into it thinking that the chemo had shrunk the tumor enough that we could, safely kill the rest of the tumor with radiation. And we tried it, and we came out of it in early February thinking, that's it. We killed the tumor. There's nothing left. And we were hoping the next scan would be great. We didn't know, but we kept up chemo in between the radiation and the first scan, just in case anything survived. But
Because we learned from the last time.
Yeah, after she had the surgery and there was no visible cancer.
There was cancer.
There was still cancer. So
back.
we figured take a shot just in case. And yeah, early March we had a scan and cancer free.
So we thought.
No evidence of disease.
So we thought.
Yeah, it lasted a couple months.
Yeah, I had 2 months of freedom, but that was short-lived. And then...
Yeah, I guess you guys saw Back in the Hospital Again video from March. That was the first of a few times that Lisa was admitted. The second time was crazy because they actually didn't have a bed for her, so she got to stay in the emergency room for 3 nights.
I did. That was horrible. But actually it was better than the room they actually ended up putting me in. Because the room they ended up putting me in was only a room surrounded by drapes.
Yeah. There were like 4 rooms. It was a little dialysis ward, and there were 4 rooms that were just separated by beds.
Yeah, I had more privacy in the ER room.
People are only supposed to use those for a few hours, but they had converted them to hospital rooms. I guess it was a busy time.
Yeah. So then what happened? So It was the second time. Then there was...
I guess in April you started getting really bad diarrhea.
Yeah, I got really, really sick. And I thought it might have been my Crohn's, right?
Yeah.
Initially?
She was like in the bathroom literally 30 times a day.
It was so horrible. And
that was what sent us to the hospital those first 2 times, and then...
Yeah, but then my gastroenterologist put me on medication. Didn't they do... Well, no. Was it? Or my oncologist put me on a steroid.
Yeah, just we were trying anything to get control
That didn't work.
Of what was going on.
Turns out.
Yeah, we had another scan later in April, and there was something called a fistula.
Which I had never heard of before.
I had never heard of, but...
Oh, you did?
No.
Oh,
It's basically a connection formed between 2 different parts of her intestines, between her small intestine and her transverse colon. And it's like a shortcut.
Which I still have no idea what any of those things are. I know they're in my body. I just don't know where.
Fluids would come in to the intestines from the stomach, and then instead of going round and round and getting absorbed, they were
they
going
take a
through
shortcut?
this shortcut to a point near the end and just coming out as diarrhea.
Oh, it was awful. So then
that's not good. The fistula.
No, it's not good.
So and there was also on the CT, there was the worrying words, possibly caused by a tumor. Or just a lot of inflammation. They couldn't see what was there.
They said there was an abscess.
Yeah. But as soon as they saw the fistula, they sent Lisa back into the hospital.
Sent me back in the hospital, and I stayed there for 10 days of pure hell because I had so many tests. What did they actually do to me there?
Everything.
They did everything.
You had your first units of blood. You got a couple of units of blood.
I got, what was that called? A transfusion?
Yeah.
I got my first transfusion. Actually, it's not my first because when I was born, I had transfusions.
Really?
Lori and I did, yeah. So, but I had 2 rounds of transfusions.
Yeah, her blood counts got really bad.
Low.
They had kept getting bad or getting worse and worse before she got hospitalized, but when she was in the hospital,
they really dropped.
They kept dropping. So.
And they also did a biopsy.
Yeah.
That hurt like hell, like really bad, and it continued to hurt afterwards for a long time.
And we had to wait, it was a good week after we left the hospital when we got the results of the biopsy, and you can already guess, where
what
that
happened.
went. But back in the hospital, you remember that your roommate?
Oh, I had the best roommate. At first, I didn't like her too much because I thought she was very loud and inconsiderate. But turns out she was 91 years old?
Yeah,
this lady was such a spitfire. She was 91 years old, and she didn't have any family. And so, I don't know how this happened, but I ended up being her advocate while I was there. But we would spend hours talking, and very interesting lady. She lived such an amazing life and has traveled the world. So we had a lot to talk about. I just picked her brain left and right. And the nurses did not like her because she was elderly and she complained a lot. But I stepped in and kind of paved the way between that. So it was much better after that for her. So let's get back to what they did to me in there.
All right.
So what did they do? I had a biopsy. I had this PICC line. Oh, I can show you this.
Yeah.
This is like show and tell.
She's got the port over here. Now she's got another
I have
access
my port
on
here. I don't know if I ever
arm.
showed you guys. I have a port here. This is where I get my chemo. And then, because I have really bad veins. And then I have this PICC line. And this is where the other part of the story that is continuing right now.
For the last 5 weeks,
Oh my
Lisa
God.
hasn't had any food.
I haven't eaten any food except for chicken and vegetable broth and
Clear liquids only.
Jello and I had a couple of Italian ices, but yeah,
This is how Lisa gets nutrition. It's called TPN, Total Parenteral Nutrition. I
Yeah,
think,
something like that. But it's like this bag of fluid, and God bless you, because he does everything. He literally had to like get trained to do this, but he connects me to this TPN bag, and it has to be all sterile, and then he disconnects me. So from like, typically we try to do like from 8 p.m. to 8 in the morning, but it varies. And that's how I sleep.
A little earlier
Yeah.
on days when I have to go into work.
But yeah, I sleep with this thing feeding me, essentially, overnight. And it's horrible. And it gives me a stomach ache. And yeah,
Yeah.
sucks. And I'm hoping tomorrow when I go for my MRI, hopefully my fistula has gotten a little better. Because if it stays the same or it gets a little better, my gastroenterologist is going to wean me off the TPN, which means I will be able to eat that pizza that I've been craving forever. I don't even like pizza. I like all I want is pizza.
In the hospital,
that was like
she's
5
talking
weeks
to me
ago.
about pepperoni pizza. She hasn't had pepperoni on a pizza. She doesn't even like it.
I
She
know.
hasn't had pepperoni on a pizza in like
ages.
10 years.
It's awful.
So.
And now that's all I want. So
Yeah.
I'm planning my meals that I get to eat.
And if that's
Because
the
all I'm
first
focusing on is my food. I'm like dying to
one,
eat.
yeah, come on, it's been 5 weeks.
Oh my God.
I
I'm
think
the only person that
everybody can kind of understand.
hasn't eaten any food and has still gained weight.
You haven't gained any
No,
weight.
I think I gained like a couple pounds here and there.
There was a little water weight in there.
Yeah. And my feet are like the size of elephant feet. They're huge.
A lot of swelling.
A lot of swelling.
Every day we
sucks.
take the blood pressure, and if it's high enough, then she can take Lasix,
Which is a
to help
diuretic.
get the swelling down.
Yeah. So, what else has gone on?
Well, do you remember that? So we were in the hospital, and when they were telling us what might be the cause of the fistula, and it could have been the Crohn's, but she had that 10 years ago. That's a inflammatory disease of the bowels, but it was really inactive for
It
most
didn't
of the
feel
last
like
8
Crohn's
years.
though. It was too much. It was like way too much time in the bathroom.
Yeah, we all thought it was from radiation, because radiation,
We did.
one of the likely side effects is a fistula. But the radiologist came to see us in the hospital and said that the radiation, this was where the fistula developed, was right on the edge of the field. So he thought it was pretty unlikely that that was the cause.
Yeah.
They said it could have been because of the previous surgeries she's had in the area.
Which I've had a lot.
But they also said it could be a tumor. And they definitely, they said we had to consider it as a real possibility, but they definitely, made it clear that there were other possibilities.
And then remember that
I wasn't
that
there
doctor?
for this. She called me right after.
I was crying.
so
I was
bad.
hysterical. This doctor, what was she?
An intern. She was a surgical intern.
She's a surgical intern. She came in. She had no bedside manner at all. I'm there. I have no idea what's going on in my body. She knows I have cancer. And this lady was like cold as ice. And she's like, "Oh, it's definitely a tumor." And I was like, "What? That's not what my doctor
Weren't you
said."
listening yesterday?
Yeah, she was like berating me in like a way. I was like, "Lady, you gotta go. Like, I'm not talking to you anymore." I was so mad.
We
And
called our
I called
oncologist.
Joshua right away.
Yeah, I called the
Hysterical.
oncologist, and he confirmed that woman
That
was...
they didn't know for sure what it was.
And not even didn't know for sure. Didn't know, couldn't even say it was most likely a tumor.
Yeah, and not only that, you don't deliver that kind of news like that to someone. Like,
In that way. Like, weren't you
Horrible.
listening?
it was horrible. So, yeah, that sucked. What else? So much stuff has
Yeah,
gone on.
the hospital was the 10 days at the hospital were
It was a lot. There's a
were
lot of
a
stuff
lot.
that went on. And
But
then I had the best nurses. Like, one of the nurses made me 3 bracelets. Her name was Jane. She was so sweet. She made me 3 bracelets. I have one on right now, which is rose quartz. But I thought that was so sweet. So I wrote all my nurses thank you notes. Made Joshua
does
run and
that?
get
who does
note
that?
cards.
That was so awesome.
And some of the attendants, nursing attendants, I wrote. They were really nice. One of the ladies' names was Pansy. I'll never forget her. Just so funny. All right, so I get out of the hospital. Thank God.
Yeah.
And I get released, and Josh has to do this TPN every day. And I have a visiting nurse that comes once a week to clean out my PICC line so I don't get infections and all that.
So
and
got out
then,
of the hospital on May 2nd.
yeah, and then it was Mother's Day.
Well,
And
before
what
that.
happened?
So May 9th, remember we'd gotten the biopsy. I wasn't there for this. You had a biopsy. Well, she was at the hospital.
Yeah.
And on May 9th, the doctor called and gave the results. And
It was a
the
tumor.
cancer was back.
And told us we were going to be starting a new chemo.
Well, he said there was the next chemo, and we had talked about this chemo before.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's another chemo like the enfortumab that we had been on. It's a smart chemo that
Targeted.
attaches to the cancer cells before it releases its toxic payload. So, which is good because it's so toxic, you would die if it released it everywhere. It just tries to attack those cells, but when it releases it and kills the cancer cells, obviously it does a lot of other stuff. But the doctors, they had to talk to us about this, and our doctor, Dr. Shu, told us that we were going to have a difficult conversation.
Which, of course, our minds went every different way because obviously we went to like the worst case scenario.
Yeah, what is this
That's
difficult
human
conversation
nature.
going to be? Is it hospice time? Are we out of
So I was
options?
freaking out. It was
But
awful.
the week leading up to that appointment,
Bad week.
bad week. But we got into the appointment, right? And we had prepped. Like, what is it that he could possibly say? And Lisa told me that, she still definitely feels like fighting. We're not anywhere near the point where the treatment is worse than not getting the treatment.
Yeah,
And
I'm never going to stop fighting.
I think that's mainly what the doctor had in mind when he said the difficult conversation. He gave us the option of not continuing the treatment. And
I just
Lisa-
said, like, do you know who you're talking to? Like, really? Like, I've
That's
told
not
you
her.
from the beginning that I'm never going to stop fighting, that I would rather fight and be, I can't walk, or my hair all falls out, or, which we'll get to that, or whatever. But it's better than not being here at all, because I have too much to fight for. I have a great family.
Yeah.
I have a great husband. I have great kids. And that's about as much as I'm going to say about my family. But
And then there's the rest of the family.
yeah,
No, but I mean, so the week before that, and when Lisa came out of the hospital, she was really weak.
I was.
There was a point the week before where I sent a note to her palliative care team.
Oh God.
That we really needed to find some way of helping Lisa with her energy level because she was so fatigued after 10 days in the hospital, staying in a bed. Wouldn't you be?
I didn't
No
stay in bed
chance
the
to-
whole time though. I was doing my nails at the hospital. I was
Okay.
like doing everything. It was so crazy. I was so bored.
And the palliative care team, they did it. They prescribed a higher dose of Ritalin.
Yeah. For my
Lisa does not have
fatigue.
ADD.
I do actually. I do have ADD.
All right then.
But it was
Learn
for my
something new.
fatigue.
But
You didn't know that?
no, that's okay. I
How could you not
don't
know
have
that?
to know everything.
Have you seen me function during a day?
Every day.
Yeah, I don't
Even
function.
with chemo, Brian.
I don't function.
So Lisa had been taking one Ritalin pill a day for like the last year, but it really wasn't doing much. And they upped it to 2 and then 3, and sure enough, she's doing a lot better. She has a lot more energy. But before then, I had written this note to spur everybody into action to help with the energy, talking about how little she had and little she was able to do. And I think that's part of why the doctor, came into that Thursday meeting thinking that we might not have the strength to fight. But Lisa made it really clear. And she had already begun to feel
Much
significantly
better.
better by that point. I mean,
Yeah.
you're seeing her now. She's a totally different woman than she was
In the hospital.
a few
Even
weeks
a week
ago. Just
after the hospital.
zero strength, but
Yeah, I didn't have any strength.
he said it'd be a tough conversation, and that part wasn't tough, but he did let us know that
There might be a time when I can't.
yeah.
When it's too dangerous for me to have
Yeah.
chemo.
I was, afraid that maybe we were running out of options because he promised to tell us if we ever got to the next to last option. We weren't going to talk about what all the options were, but he promised to let us know if we were close. But he told us we'll never run out of drugs, but we could get to the point where Lisa doesn't have the strength for the side effects, where the doctor thinks the cancer or the chemo will kill her. At which point he will stop, prescribing chemo.
Yeah, but I'm not
but we're
there,
not there.
and
So
I don't expect I will be.
So the hard conversation was nowhere near as hard as we feared.
Yeah.
But
And I got my hair cut.
hold on. No,
Mother's
we're not
Day.
done.
We're not done. We're not at Mother's Day yet.
We're not at Mother's Day yet. So May 9th is the Monday before Mother's Day. That's
Okay.
when the doc calls and gives us the news about the tumor.
Yeah.
At Thursday, we had the appointment with him. And
Yeah.
then Friday, Lisa was reading the after visit notes. No, so the doctors tell you never go research your cancer, right? Because your cancer is not the same as everybody else's. And, the statistics, like when they say 5-year survival rate, a lot of those are from, 5 years ago. So, there's treatments that were
have come a
started
long
5
way.
years ago.
Yeah.
And there's so much that's different now.
Yeah.
And how many of those patients were treated at Dana-Farber? We are so lucky to live where we do and to have the team that we have. But Lisa did the next worst thing to researching her cancer. She read the after visit notes. So
That was a
she
mistake.
stumbled across this phrase, prognosis.
Oh my God.
Weeks,
months.
or months. Oh my God, the next couple of hours were insane. Obviously,
That was bad.
I called the doctor.
I thought he didn't tell me something, and because he was afraid I would take it badly, and I really thought.
Yeah, we had just gotten over the.
Like, I kept looking at Josh, and I was like, I don't feel that sick. Like, I don't feel like I'm there. How's
I was
that?
convinced that was not the message we got. The message we got was that we had a shot to fight this.
It wasn't the message
We had
we
just
got.
gotten over this terror of the week going into
That's why I thought
that
I was
Thursday
going
meeting.
insane.
And then we have this Friday note.
Yeah.
But we called his office and he called us back pretty quickly.
Yeah. Don't ever read the notes.
I guess there's a template that they're filling out, and he's checking boxes, and this part was like, it turned out that he was talking about if there was deterioration from the chemo, that it would be in a matter of weeks or months. So it wasn't anything about her lifespan. It wasn't even that he was forecasting deterioration. It was the prognosis for what could happen as a result of the chemo.
That was bad.
That was a
Bad couple hours.
few hours.
All right, are we back at Mother's Day
Mother's Day.
So Mother's Day rolls around, and it's a Saturday. It was the day before Mother's Day.
The day after we get this
Bad news.
Bad news, but then not bad news.
So now I'm like impulsive, and I'm like, my hair, after I went bald, my hair grew in this weird curly frizzy thing. And I asked Joshua if I could go get my hair cut and colored. And we called the salon, and they had an appointment.
We can find somebody? Like, it's
on a
2
Saturday,
days before
a
Mother's
walk-in?
Day? No.
Like,
There's
I
no
couldn't believe it.
chance.
So we were lucky, and I have a new hairdresser. Although I don't think I'm going to need her very much longer.
Soon
because my hair is falling out again. In chunks, right?
Yeah.
Like
You should,
chunks.
there are so many side effects that could be so much worse physically. But this is
like
so
a mental
hard.
one.
This is so hard for Lisa. This is, like, I see her not feeling like a woman.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like, if I go like this, look at that. Big chunk of hair. That I didn't even have to pull.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. I don't want to see that.
Off camera. Out of sight, out of mind.
Oh my God. I can't believe I just pulled my hair out. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's going to be what happens for the next week is we
I will
get
be bald by
chunks of
next
hair,
week.
every time she touches her head.
But I didn't get rid of my wigs, so that's good.
Yeah.
So thank God for that.
Yeah, I don't know if she tells you this, or if she's told you this in the past, because I haven't seen all of her videos. But at night, when we get into bed, as she's getting to sleep, I rub her head. I rub her head pretty much every night, and it's what she falls asleep to.
Within minutes.
Oh, within seconds.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's true. I put my cancer music on, and he rubs on my head, and I'm out cold.
Yeah.
That's
and if I
awesome.
do happen to get into bed after she's already asleep, I'll still rub her head. It's our thing. But, the next week, and I remember last time what it was like when she was losing
Clumps of
her
hair
hair.
in your hand.
And how hard it was for her that the head rub was not really causing, but, accelerating the amount of hair coming in.
Hair loss, yes.
And there was a time when actually her hair was still pretty long, and I had created a big knot with all of my rubbing and like a mass of hair.
I woke up and I thought it was a dead animal on my pillow. It was my messy bun.
And that was the time she had to shave her head the first time.
Yep. And I'm sure I'll be shaving it this week because it is falling out rapidly. Much quicker than before.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else go on?
No.
Tomorrow's the MRI.
Tomorrow's the MRI. If the fistula has shrunk, even if it hasn't, we might be able to stop the TPN or taper it down. But the doctor said that the fistula can heal.
Okay, I just want pizza. That's all I want. I want them to take this thing out. I want the TPN gone out of my life. And I just want to eat food again with my family.
Yeah, Lisa heard about someone who'd been on TPN 3 years, but she can eat.
3 years, but she gets to eat food.
So I guess
Probably
it's just
light
supplemental.
food,
but maybe we can be eating, even if we do stay on TPN at like some reduced dose. Maybe we can be eating soon.
I hope so, because this is not cool. This is like double torture. Truly. I mean, if you're going to be sad and have cancer, you might as well eat. Right?
Yeah.
I think. Anyway, so do we have any other news?
Now it's been 5 months. We got to thankfully have a few days of vacation last week. We had a
Oh, yeah, we went to the Cape. Joshy surprised me last minute on Tuesday and asked me if I wanted to go to the Cape. I was like, yeah. I was like, when? He's like, now. I'm like, what? Okay. And I packed everything, and David got packed, and
she's
we
been
were all
asking
ready.
me for weeks to look at the calendar
So I got
of
to
this rental
stay-
house and to see if there were any times it wasn't rented, and I hadn't done it.
I got to be on the beach. Where's
Tuesday
my
morning.
happy
Your
happy
story.
place? In the sun. Oh my God! It's like, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's so beautiful.
the Cape is her place.
I love it there. So it was really good to get away because I got to be stress free, and I got to be in my happy place and just totally zone out.
Only missing the fried clams.
Yeah, but I couldn't eat, which sucks because they have the best fried clams and lobster rolls and onion rings
And
oh my God, it's all so
and
good.
ice cream smuggler.
And smugglers.
And
Ice
so if
cream.
you ever get to Dennis, Massachusetts, ice cream smuggler.
Smugglers is so good. Oh, yeah, I miss that. Anyway, but yeah, so that is where we're at.
Where we're at 5 months of the cancer journey wrapped up in just a few minutes.
I am going to start working again because now I have energy a little bit. I have not put a video out on any updates on the desk or anything because I've just been too sick. So I'm going to get back into it, thank God, and get that desk done,
Yeah.
which is for
My
him.
desk.
So I got to finish that so I can get all the other pieces done too.
I can't wait to use it.
So that's it, everyone. That's what's gone on for the past 6 months. And I'm so sorry for not posting. I was just too sick and in the hospital, and it was a lot. So hopefully you forgive me, but we're going to see more videos coming up soon. And everybody be good to each other and hug the ones you love. And I will catch you on the flip side. Thank you, Joshua. I love you.
Thank you. I love you, babe.
And that's the update. Bye, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe.
And don't forget to ring that bell.
All right, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.